Hey, you guys, it's Miss Aisha. So, if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Miss Aisha. I am a childcare owner. I've been a childcare owner for 16 plus years. I've been an early learning professional for 20 plus years. And my love, my joy, my desire, my call is to help kingdom parents raise kingdom children, and also to help Christian childcare providers run a kingdom childcare business. So I want to talk today about something that I don't think is, I think that we talk about it, but we don't really talk about it. And I'm gonna open with this. My enrollment interviews, I've done hundreds of them, hundreds of enrollment interviews. And I always open with one question. I always ask the parents, what are you looking for in your ideal childcare setting for your family? Because one, I understand that, yes, I have the child all day, but I'm serving the family. So I always ask them, like, what are they ideally looking for in the best childcare setting for their family? And without fail, y'all, like without fail, it's always the same answer. And that answer is, we're just looking for a safe environment for our child. And can I be honest with you, y'all? I just feel like that's basic. And the fact that parents have to even preference or even state that they're looking for a safe environment for their child, to me, I'm just like, yo, it's so frustrating to me that so many people in this industry has made it necessary that parents have to actually say what to me should be obvious. The basic function of a child care setting is to provide a safe environment for the child. That's basic, y'all. That's basic. Like, basic. It's not environment. It's not curriculum. That's extra, right? Truth be told, let's just be honest. When you get licensed, they're not approving your curriculum. They're not approving your toys. They're not approving that. They're approving the safety of your environment, the safety of you, the safety of your staff, so that it's a safe environment for the children. So when I hear parents say that, I'm like, it frustrates me. So I have, like I said, I've done hundreds of interviews, and that's always the answer that parents give me. And I'm like, we're doing something wrong. No, y'all doing something wrong, because it's not me. But something is being done in the childcare industry that's not correct, that parents feel like they have so much anxiety about starting their children in a childcare setting. And notably, it is a reasonable anxiety. It is a reasonable anxiety. But here's what I want to address with the childcare owners, childcare providers. I did a post on Facebook that got some a little bit of hustle and tussle before. This was years ago. I made this post, and it's really it goes well with this. And this is what I really always want to reiterate. I made a post, and it said, childcare owners, childcare providers, teachers, heal before you spill. You do not have the right to bleed on other people's children. And here's what I mean by that. Parents have the right to drop off their child physically safe, emotionally safe, spiritually safe, from their household to your household, and have their child returned in the same manner. Now, I'm not talking about in instances where children are being abused. We're not talking about that. Where they're being abused at home or verbally, physically. We're not talking about that. I'm not even talking about like clean clothes and stuff, because that has nothing to do with safety. I'm talking about when a parent pays you to be the steward of their child while they have to be away from their child. They have picked you to be them while they have to be away from their child. They have said that you are our best choice to stand in our place while we have to be away from our child. We give you authority. We trust you to steward our child well while we have to go to work, while we have to do things away from our child. That's what they're saying when they bring their child to you. So therefore, you are to return that child in the same manner. Actually, you're supposed to return them better, to truth be told, because while they're with you, you should be imparting lessons and teachings and things that enrich them, right? So when they return to their parents, they're not wounded, they're not abused, they're not oppressed, they're not depressed, they're not filled with anxiety and fear. You have no right to bleed on these children. Every child has to deal with the issues of their own family and their own bloodline, right? Whatever mom and daddy issues are, baby gonna have to deal with those issues, right? And how dare you, being someone not related to them, to now your issues come now spilling on this child. So now this child got to deal with, y'all, you see all that, I'm sorry, I had grease on my hands. Anyway, you see all, now the child has to deal with what they got from their parents, from their bloodline, and then they have to deal with what they got from you. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to spill your trauma, your traumatic childhood or whatever onto these children. So now you have you have changed the trajectory of their life, because you have now spilled on these children in a manner that was not supposed to be. And I want to make this very, very clear. I want to make this very clear too. Who I'm talking to, I'm not talking to the regular childcare owner. We're not talking about them. I'm talking to my Christian childcare owners, because y'all get what I'm saying. I'm talking to my believers who believe in Jesus Christ. I'm talking to my kingdom-minded childcare owners. This is who my audience is, period. And this is who I'm always talking to. Other people, I'm not talking to y'all. To my Christian childcare owners, heal. Get delivered from your junk before what is traumatizing you spills onto these children that are not yours. Now, your children are going to have to deal with what's on your bloodline, but these other children that don't belong to you, you have to set up a buffer of some sort that your trauma and your issues that you haven't healed yet doesn't spill over into these children. You don't get to yell at them. You don't get to respond in anger to them. You don't get to put your hands on them. If you cannot handle them, call their parents. You got to come pick up your child. I can't do this today. It is okay. I have done it plenty of times, because there has to be a buffer, right? You have to know your limit of what you can take and what you cannot take. This is the childcare industry. No matter what, it is an industry where you have to have 2 cups and they both have to be filled. So if this cup starts to go down, you still have a reserve. When this cup is gone, you still have a reserve. When this cup get like this, actually, when the cup get like this, you should be doing something. And what I'm talking about is, say, for example, if you have a child that is, let's say you have a child that's a screamer, a tantrum child, right? That, I don't care who you are. You could be the best of the best. Children having tantrums and yelling and screaming, all that stuff gets to you. It doesn't matter who you are. It gets to their own parents. It's going to get to you. So what I'm saying is, you have something in place to say to the parents, listen, when he is screaming and he's having a tantrum, I'm going to have to call you. You're going to have to pick him up. Because that's your buffer. You're setting a boundary and you're keeping yourself safe and you're keeping this child safe. Because what can happen is that you will get emotionally drained and you will start acting or responding in ways that you are going to be harmful to this child. And we don't want that to happen. So you have to make sure that you do not allow things to go on for longer than necessary. And you also have to make sure as well is that you're healing. You're healing. You're going to God. You're asking God to heal you from whatever trauma has happened in your childhood. Let me tell you something that people don't want to recognize. When you work with children, typically it's because as a child, you have suffered, right? You have suffered some kind of trauma in your childhood that really has made you the best to work with children. However, that trauma still has to be healed because it will then work against you. It will work against you. So whereas the trauma or the pain, as they say, turn to passion, right? That pain still has to be healed because it will then work against you. And it will sneak up on you. And you will be thinking like, oh, but I love the children. I love working with children. You do. But you need to get healed. You need to get healed because you love working with children because you grew up in a household of yelling. And little do you know, now you're yelling at other people's children. Yes, you love working with children, but now you're yelling at children too. You have to get healed. You love working with children because when you were younger, you know, you were abused. I'm going to tell you my personal testimony. When I was younger, I was abused, emotionally abused, and I was physically abused, and I was verbally abused. When I first started my daycare, the Lord early on, actually really before I even started, I started to get, the Lord began to deliver me, and I got healing in these areas of emotion and these areas of verbal abuse. And then when I opened my daycare, there was a buffer I had in place. I promise y'all. I had a very thick buffer in place because I knew in certain areas I wasn't completely healed yet. And then I started having, my issue really became people pleasing. But when it came to the children, I had to have a very thick emotional buffer in place. Because what I didn't want to do is my pain became my passion, but because I haven't healed from my pain, now I'm inflicting pain onto other people's children. You don't want that to happen. I never wanted that to happen. That's why from the beginning of my business, I had a buffer. And one of the buffers I had was I had an assistant, and what I would tell her is, say we had a difficult child, or if I was having a difficult day, I would tell her, okay, I need you to be in charge of so-and-so today because I'm not having the best day, okay? So she would be in charge of so-and-so that day. But also, if it was a day that she wasn't having her best day, and with this difficult child, she would say, I need you to be in charge of so-and-so today because I'm not having the best day. So having those things in place are very important because it keeps the children safe and it keeps you safe too. It keeps you safe too. I have talked to a lot of adults who have pain from the child care providers that they had, or babysitters, really babysitters that they had when they were children. And what I never wanted, I used to cry out to the Lord, Lord, I do not ever want any child in my care to have that story. Never want it. So therefore, I put these buffers in place, and also I healed, y'all. I can't stress to you guys, maybe I'll do another video about that. I cannot stress to you that you need to be delivered and you need to be healed from these traumatic things, because you will bleed on these children. And I know you don't want to do that. I know that's not what you want to do. So let's round this up. So yes, that's the number one question that I get from parents, is that they want to have a safe environment for their children. And I always reassure them, and you have to understand that that is a very legit concern for parents. It is very legit. I mean, you turn on the news and you see daycare provider beat, just a few weeks ago, it was a girl was sentenced because she was beating the children at the school, pushing them and all this other stuff at the daycare center. And they do this on cameras. So parents have a legit concern. They have a legit concern. And our job, my job, is to ease those concerns. And we don't ease them by just words, by saying, oh yes, this is going to be a safe environment, because every provider is going to say that. We ease them by having integrity and making sure that we are healed, making sure that we are delivered from these things, making sure that we are actively doing things to make this a safe environment for their child. That's how we reassure them. And we also make sure that our staff is safe. We let our staff know that they have to heal. I let my staff know that you have to heal and you have to be delivered from these things. But that's another video. But I wanted to make this very clear that childcare providers, we have to heal and we have to ask God to deliver us from our childhood trauma, so that we do not spill on to the children that the parents entrust us with, that we want to be good stewards of. You're not being a good steward if you're not getting healed from the trauma that gave you the passion to work with children. You're not getting healed. You're not, if you're not getting healed, you're not helping. So that's the end of this video. I want you to like, comment, subscribe. Comment in the comments, what are your thoughts on this video? I don't even know, like, I'm new to this whole like YouTube thing, so I don't even have a question to ask y'all. Let's see, what's a question I could ask you? How you feel about this video? I don't know, just, I'm new to this, okay? I'm new to this. I'm gonna get more YouTube savvy, but I'm not there yet. And you'll get to know my personality. Like, I'm gonna tell like it is type of person, you know? So, you know, in the comments, share your thoughts and share your, whatever, your thoughts in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.